Eevee is one of the most popular Pokemon ever due to the way it can evolve into a bunch of different Pokemon of different types. But what if there was another Pokemon who could evolve like Eevee does? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you what that could look like, so let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the question that is the title of this video, and, actually, wait a minute, I think I'm sitting on something. Oh my gosh, wouldn't you know it? It's the limited edition Folkachi promo card. You can get this special card of my mascot Folkachi for free with every order of my Folkachi plushie, which is pretty amazing itself. The card isn't just for looks though, because it's also a part of my upcoming Histrobi Chronicles TCG, which is gonna be amazing, and the TCG is based on the monster catching video game known as Histrobi Chronicles that I'm also working on. So we have got some amazing stuff that we are cooking up in the background here on this channel, and if you want to support next level content like this, as well as this channel in general and videos like the one you're watching right now, you can pick up a plush at histrobishop.com with the link in the description. And that not only gets you the super adorable, soft and squishy Folkachi plushie, but also the limited edition Folkachi promo card for free, which will only ever be available with this promo. So don't miss out and pick one up with that link in the description, and a huge thank you to you guys, as always, for all of your amazing support. Okay, so to answer the question that is the title of this video, I've gone ahead and created my own concept for another Eevee-like Pokemon, and this is what I came up with. Meet Eggaloo. Now, to be completely honest, Eggaloo has got to be one of my most favorite Fakemon that I have ever created, because he just turned out so stinking adorable. I also feel like he turned out looking pretty unique too, which I love, and I gotta give my man Oscar Belmonte a shout out for drawing the artwork of this guy and also of the other mons that you're gonna see later. He helped me bring him to life, so be sure to check him out with the links in the description. Coming back to our adorable egg child though, the concept behind Eggaloo is that it is a dragon egg, and as such is a dragon type. I went with this because with the egg theme, that conveys the idea of hatching into something when it evolves, and with that, it could naturally become anything upon evolving. So I felt like that worked well in terms of setting the stage for something that could evolve in a bunch of different ways. It being a dragon type might be a bit of a surprise, but I went with this for a couple of different reasons. The first was appeal. With a mon like this, you obviously want to make it as appealing as possible, and give it almost mascot levels of appeal, like we've seen with Eevee. And dragon is one of, if not the most appealing type overall. So I felt like making a mon like this that is a dragon type is just helping to set it up for success. The other reason I made it a dragon type though is because of the overall approach I decided to take with Eggaloo's evolutions, and that is with dual typed evolutions. When brainstorming ideas of how I wanted to tackle this, I actually realized that there are a number of different routes you could go with in terms of how you could do the evolutions of a Pokemon like this. So there's not just one single way you could go, but ultimately I thought that the concept of dual typed evolutions for a mon like this would be a fun contrast to Eevee, who's obviously monotyped with every evolution that it has. So basically, Eevee would end up being the monotype rep in this situation, and Eggaloo would be the dual type rep. I thought that sounded like a lot of fun, and when paired with the dragon type that we already gave Eggaloo, that just has this mon and its evolutions exploding with potential. And speaking of those evolutions, let's go ahead and get into those. Before we do, however, I do just want to touch on Eggaloo's name really quick, just so we cover all of our bases with this absolutely adorable creature. Its name obviously comes from egg, given the dragon egg inspiration, but then it also comes from evolution, just shortened down a little bit into a name form, since it obviously is focused on evolution, or should I say, eggolution. With Eggaloo covered though, let's go ahead and get into the real meat of this video and start covering its evolutions. I would give Eggaloo the ability to evolve into a Mon of every single type that is out there, and not just stop at 8 like another certain Pokemon, because that is the whole freaking point of a concept like this. The purpose of a Pokemon with this ability is to have fun with it, so why not have as much fun as possible and grant Eggaloo the ability to evolve into a Mon of every single type. That is conceptually what I would do, however, I sadly do not literally have an evolution of every type to show you today, cause if I'm being honest, that is a lot of commission work and the cost of that adds up. But I do still have 5 evolutions that I'm going to show you today, which is still a great starting point. And hey, if this video blows up, I would love to cover more of the evolutions in future videos as well. Getting into the evolutions for this video though, let's start off with a Fire-type evolution. This is Wyvern, and going along with that dual-type theme, it is a Dragon Fire-type. Now, one of the things I love the most about these evolutions is their names, because as you're gonna see, they're all very punny. Wyvern, for instance, gets its name from Wyvern, which is a type of dragon, and Burn, representing its fire type. And before anybody says anything, yeah, I know Wyvern is not actually a wyvern, but I'm focusing on the pun aspect of the name with these evolutions, because it honestly just makes these evolutions all the more fun in my opinion, and like I said, a Pokemon like this is all about having fun. So with that said, each evolution of Eggaloo is ultimately named after its secondary type, just like Wyvern, and also a type of dragon to naturally represent it as such. And while their namesakes might not entirely be accurate to the type of dragon they are, the names are still pure gold in my opinion. And another great example of this is Grassalisk. Grassalisk is the grass-type rep of this group and is Dragon Grass-type. As you may be able to also tell, the name comes from the lovely combination of grass and basilisk. And while basilisks are admittedly more snake-like overall, they are still very dragon-adjacent within folklore. With that said, however, I'm sure you're also wondering at this point how Eggaloo would evolve into these evolutions. Well, I don't want to just rip off Eevee and reuse the evolutionary stones, but it has always been my opinion that every evolution should evolve with the use of an evolutionary stone. After all, the precedent for that was set with the Gen 1 evolutions, and that kinda made it their thing and made them all the cooler, at least in my own opinion. So I feel like some of these other evolution methods that they've tried to do in more recent gens with the newer evolutions has sorta been not as cool in my eyes. So if I was making a Mon like this, like I am right now, that is what I would do. I don't want to be too uncreative though and just straight up use the stones, so I would evolve Eggaloo into each of its evolutions by leveraging its dragon theme and introducing new scale items. So for example, Eggaloo would evolve into Wyvern with the use of a fire scale, and into Grassalisk with the use of a grass scale, and so on. Yeah, that might just be the evolutionary stones with a new coat of paint, but like I said, if I was dealing with a Pokemon like Eevee, that is the approach that I would take. Let's go ahead and reveal a new evolution though. We've done fire and grass so far, so it only makes sense to round out the starter types and introduce Eggaloo's water evolution. This is Quetzalcoatl. It is a dragon water type, and I really hope you're getting as much of a kick out of the names as I am, because boy, the puns, they just make my heart happy, what can I say? Shifting gears a little bit though, you've probably been able to tell by now that each of these evolutions have the same general body style, which is to essentially keep them all uniform with each other, but they do still all take on their own characteristics as well. For instance, Quetzalcoatl is more of a salamander, amphibian type creature, Grassilisk is more of like a raptor or other similar dinosaur, and Wyvern is more evocative of a traditional fire-breathing dragon, just without the wings. On that note, however, we have now officially covered the 3 starter-typed evolutions of Egaloo. So where do we go from here in terms of choosing which type we give an evolution to next? Well, I have got 2 more evolutions to cover, and I'm going to save the best for last, so the next type that I've decided to go with, that I'm going to show to you now, is Fighting. And I have decided to go with Fighting type purely because of the name I came up with for this evolution. This is Clockatrice, and while he may not be a literal cockatrice, he will clean your clock as the dragon fighting type that he is. Yes, the puns are still going strong, and Clockatrice is as well, because another neat thing about its design as a fighting type is that it incorporates the colors of gold, silver, and bronze into its design, which are often associated with medals and trophies that one might strive for as a fighter or just as a super fit athlete in general. Its black midsection is also meant to be symbolic of a black belt, and then to top it all off, it's also adorned with what is meant to resemble the classic karate headband. So just about every bit of Clockatrice is indicative of that fighting type, which I personally feel like worked out pretty well. As I said though, I have saved the best for last, and it's the best because it's a type of evolution that many have wanted to see with Eevee for years, and that is a ghost type evolution. It's one of the types that I would personally most like to see an evolution of, so I'm personally not going to waste any time myself in making one for my own evolution Fakemon. This is Guolong. It is a dragon ghost type, and my personal favorite evolution of the bunch so far. Guolong gets its name from Ghoul, as you may have already been able to decipher, and Zhulong, which is a dragon from Chinese mythology. Zhulong is described as a snake-like creature with a human face, and that kind of ended up being reflected in Guolong, with its ghostly body that is somewhat serpentine, and its skull-like head that reflects the ghost typing, but is also a little more round in its shape, sort of like a human head. That wasn't exactly intentional, but it does sort of consistently fit, which is why I thought I would mention it. I ultimately love the way this one turned out though, because with the ghost type, you always have amazing potential, and it just stacks on top of all of the other potential that makes up these designs that I've been discussing throughout this video. So Egaloo, Guolong, and the rest of the gang here is something that I personally really like the idea of. Be sure to let me know what you think of these Fakemon though in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't yet for more. You can also hit that link at the top of the description to pick up a Folkachi plush, and you'll also get the limited edition Folkachi trading card along with it for free when you do. This is some next level merch. They're honestly so cool, and it greatly supports videos just like this one when you pick one up, so it is super appreciated. With that said, I'll be back very soon with another new video as well, and until the next one, as always, thanks so much for watching this one. I really appreciate it, and I will smell you guys later.